measure of inflation since estimates began in the late 1980s. Our economics correspondent Andy Verity reports.
When petrol prices tumbled last winter, this haulage firm in High Wycombe hoped that at last it would be able to hand out pay rises to its drivers and get back to a healthy profit. But then it came under pressure from one of its customers to slash its price. And now the petrol price looks like it's bouncing back. In the year to the end of March, the average price rise was 0.0%, a record low just like last month. It might well have turned negative if it hadn't been for petrol rising by 3.8p a litre. A decision to cut prices stacks up for a company like this one because it's in an ultra-competitive marketplace. That price is its income. It doesn't want to cut it. It cuts its price because it has to.
They insisted that we pass on the full extent of the fuel decrease because they're under huge pressure themselves from their customers to pass on price savings. So we really had no choice because of the size of their business to pass it on to them.
If inflation is zero on average, that should mean we see as many prices falling as rising. So have we noticed that?
Not really. I can't say I have, to be honest.
Not really.
No, not really. Especially with like food shopping and things, prices are still as expensive as they were. Over the last few years, it's been a noticeable increase, and I can't see that there's been a drop in that.
Pressure from retailers to cut prices is passed down the pipeline to food manufacturers. This ice cream maker has resisted it because his own suppliers have yet to cut their prices.
For every pound of ice cream we sell, 80p of that is really the cost of making the product, whether that be ingredients or packaging. So again, plastic is a prime example for our tubs. When the plastic suppliers will start dropping the prices, then we can potentially pass on some of those price reductions as well.
So has the prospect of inflation below zero gone away?
We're perhaps past the main danger point in terms of falling into deflation because oil prices have now rebounded. We've seen all the effects of the recent gas price cuts come into the inflation figures now. But I think it'll still be pretty touch and go in the coming months whether the UK does dip into negative territory.
If you take food and fuel out of the mix, the average price rise for everything else was just 1%. A rise in interest rates any time this year now looks less likely. Andy Verity, BBC News, Buckinghamshire.